What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, Milwaukee? It's your boy, P. Skip. And again, you've entered into his courts, the #1 faith-based sports talk show in the entire world. I got my squad with me. Chill Will.
Gracias, gracias, amigo.
T-Mac isn't with us, but we got the Honorable Leroy Butler with us today.
How's it going?
Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2. The saga continues. Hey, listen, you were talking about, in our last show, we were talking about the Packers and just how Reggie White was not just a game changer, but he was a culture changer.
Yeah.
And how he changed the culture of that team to a winning culture again, just by what he brought.
Yeah.
And you were getting ready to tell us a story on one of the things he did, or the key thing he did to change the whole culture around. And what was that?
I think Reggie got in the meeting and said he wanted people to come to Bible study. Now, he had just gotten here, so people don't really know what's going on. He got up in front of the team. He said, I want everybody to come to Bible study next Thursday. So I'm thinking, I'm looking around at these guys, and they're just like throwing their heads back like, I don't know how this is going to go. So the following Thursday, we get there, and there's only like 10 people there. So he was very disappointed. I said, Reggie, I need to talk to you for a minute. He said, what's going on? I said, you have to do what Jesus did. You have to lead them. They don't know. Every Thursday night, that's our hardest practice. Every Thursday night, guys go out for wings, beer, and they go to this one place called the bar. People playing volleyball outside. It's a great atmosphere. They just relax. It's our hardest practice. You got to show up like one of the boys. You're like what people do when they say bad words around their family or their mom. Oh, don't say that, Reggie.
Right.
You got to be one of the boys. You can't let people look at you like that. He said, you know what? You're right. The following Thursday, he was there early because he'd go to bed at 8 o'clock, so he got there early.
Yeah.
The guys walked in. They go, Reggie right behind the bar, serving drinks, laughing. Me and Reggie were the only two that didn't drink on the whole team.
Wow.
But we were there because that's where our teammates are.
Right. Yeah.
2 weeks later, it was 52 guys in Bible study.
That's the whole squad.
Now, some of the guys opened the Bible upside down, but at least they were there.
Yeah.
At least they were there. They didn't know it started with this. But they were there.
Yes.
We start winning.
Yeah.
Had he not done that, I don't know if the teamwork concept have grasped on to being the smallest market, but have the most fans. It's something that's not equating about getting players.
Yeah.
And Willie touched on it about Reggie White coming. It was a perception. Where do you get haircuts? Where do you get soul food?
Yes.
Mike Holmgren brought that to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that every Friday, and nothing stopped us after that.
Yes.
We went on to do something a lot of people didn't think was going to happen. We got Brett Favre through a trade, and next thing you know, we got Andre Rison, Desmond Howard,
Right.
George Kuntz, and we started winning. But I take it all the way back to guys sitting in Bible study and doing things together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Family events. We used to go to Santana Dotson House every Thanksgiving that we weren't playing Detroit. Sometimes we played Detroit or Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Those days we didn't do that. When we were in Detroit playing the Lions, everybody would go to Gilbert Brown's house. His mom had the best mac and cheese other than mine in the world. So she would make me my own pan of mac. No, that's for Leroy. Y'all leave him alone. So it was just team. It was just team. And when we weren't playing on Thanksgiving, we go to Santana Dotson's house, white, black, Asian, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't no just black or no. All the team and coaches would come eat, their families, and they said, "This is how you win."
Yeah.
And we were an ascending team, and we hit the peak 96, 97 season.
Yeah.
We were able to go to the Super Bowl. And after 30 years of misery, we beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl with 14-point favorites. And we had 4 interns to make sure, though, they didn't deflate the balls, though.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you don't know that joke, you got to get the internet. You must get the internet. But it was good, and Reggie had a big just something about his spirit made us get to that level.
He also, even getting to that place, like David, David was on the back end of the mountain serving, taking care of his dad's sheep. But in that back, where nobody knew about him, he was learning how to lead. And he had to deal with a bear, he had to deal with a lion in order to get to the championship, which was Goliath, and then ultimately the crown. But with that year or that couple years, Reggie had to deal with injuries.
Yes, he did.
And he would say, the Lord says, I'm healed. And they go, he's supposed to be out 4 to 6 weeks for this injury.
Yep.
He'd play the next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next week.
That was the hamstring injury.
Yeah, the Lord healed me.
Yeah.
And, for the people who don't understand that God's a healer, they're like, whatever,
Yep.
It got some great trainers. Yeah, that had nothing to do with the trainers. And this was also the time I remember where just about in every game, you would see that John 3:16 sign somewhere.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden, that just disappeared. They stopped taking pictures of that. And I noticed even that in interviews. If Reggie started talking about God, they start cutting him off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about what you did on the field?
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why I created this show, because I realized there was just not a platform for Christian athletes to talk about, God helped me through this. I might have been going through some depression. I got into the Word. He helped me get through it. I might have been going through a slump. I got in the Word. I started speaking faith over it, started speaking myself into a better place. Now I'm hitting better. I'm shooting better. I'm catching passes. I'm not fumbling, whatever. People really don't allow who you are spiritually to be on display. It's like, I just want to know who you are as an outer man.
Right.
I don't want to know who you are as an inner man, because I don't want to lose a sponsor. I don't want to offend a different religious group. But the reality of it is, you're taking these athletes and you're boxing them in. Just be an athlete, but don't be who you really are, which is a Christian. Now, did that happen to you, or were you just like, I don't care how y'all feel about what y'all think I am. This is who I am, and this is what I'm going to be?
Yeah, each person is different, and you do what you want to do. And I just think that a lot of guys, if it's something on their heart, they share it. Because you're right, people can't grasp what an athlete goes through. Because if you don't know you're playing a game that you can actually die from, break your neck, concussions, you can lose your memory, you can do all these kind of things that you're not special in a way, for use your platform to let people know that's what's fueling you, then that's on you.
Yes.
But some guys like to do that. It's some guys, before they speak, and you're right about the interviews, they'll put it at I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus
the
Christ.
They just
at
had
the
it
beginning.
at the ESPYs. Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then some guys like to be private. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a place. Somebody's going to ask you, about your faith, and you can do whatever you want with it. But I think the more people know in interviews like this, and thank you for creating this show, I think that's the reason why guys feel like, you know what, if it's a part of me, if it's in my DNA, it's in my fabric, I believe in it. What's wrong with people knowing?
Right.
And that's the way you got to have shows like this to know that. Because a lot of people probably seeing this probably don't even know nothing about my faith.
Right.
Oh, I'm guaranteeing you a lot of people that didn't know. They didn't know
Come
anything
on.
about it.
No.
Right.
But,
They didn't know anything about Charlie Ward.
No.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they do now.
Yes.
Right.
And that's a
Right.
good thing about it.
Platform.
That's a good
All
thing
they know
about it.
you as is Lambeau Leap and NFL champion, but they don't know you as the man of God who, man, I prayed, I believed to get to this place, and even when I got here, I believed to be great. You didn't just want to be there and be on the team. You're like, nope, I want to be here and make a mark so well, a mark so big that it cannot be erased, and you did that. They can never take away your championship from you. That mark is on eternity now. And you left a mark.
And just let me say this about you. This is what people don't know about you. You're not from here, but you're here and you spend a lot of your time here. helping this community in Milwaukee. That group that you were talking about, before that group, none of the Green Bay Packers did anything in Milwaukee. So none of the African-American kids could see and touch and feel. But that group and you, since your championship years in Green Bay, you have stayed in this community, stayed committed to helping kids, stayed committed to positive causes, and it's something that you have done with no fanfare. I know because I've witnessed it, I've seen it. So these are some of the things that you do that are directly connected to your faith.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. And we've even, here at this Ministry of World Outreach, we've even experienced Leroy's generosity and being a part of us just reaching out to other families and you helped us with a give we did in Waukesha.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was
That's
a great
fun
time.
stuff. And it's a beautiful church, by the way. Man, God is good. Boy, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. You know,
I'm going to have to come to your event, though. I like this. October 11th and 12th, keeping it 100, making better men, and dominate. This is amazing. Men's conference. We need to see more things like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do everything in my power to try to come and bring some guys with me.
Yes.
Because
Please do.
That's what just gives me goosebumps. And if I can't make it, we're going to try to at least support it, do something to it. So I just thank you for having things like this.
We appreciate it. Thank you
This
for
is
your talk.
amazing.
You know, Eric, and I'm bringing Eric Thomas with me. And also, for those of you who don't know, Jason Nelson is also going to be a part. Robert Piles, Pastor Robert Piles, who owns a bunch of McDonald's, is going to be a part.
Nice.
A bunch. 19.
And so he understands that, along with John Hayes, who's over the HR department of, I can't think of the name of the company for right now. I want to say Alan Bradley. But he's going to be there with us. Also, Pastor Kenneth Lott, who is also the barber for the Bucks. But he also matter of fact, he was Malcolm Brogdon's pastor.
Okay.
So, also Timothy McMurtry, you know, an amazing guy. And then we have this guy by the name of Shannon Vick, who has his own, he's a personal trainer, has an iron fist, and an amazing guy.
Very nice.
And so we are just trying to teach men, and our theme is dominate. And so we want to help these fellas learn how to dominate in every area of their life. And if you show up, we're going to do this show live at the conference.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we're going to do a live show there. So we want you to show up, be there. Fellas, sign up. You can go to the website.
WorldOutreachBTC.org.
You can go sign up and be a part of it.
Registration $200. That's kind of cheap, though, ain't it?
It's cheap because you cannot walk in the door and see.
So you worth $200 by yourself to come see.
Well, I appreciate that.
Maybe 1,000.
I appreciate that.
I know you want to make it affordable for everybody, so I hope people take advantage of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
you cannot walk in the door and see Eric Thomas for nothing less than $150.
Hey, big money.
Yeah.
Big money.
He's the #1 motivational speaker in the entire world right now.
You guys
Wow.
amazing.
You know, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, it'll be the 11th and 12th
October 11th and 12th.
at the Harley Museum
Yep.
because we want to make this man cave style. And what's great about it, with this ticket, you get a concert, you get all these speakers showing you how to dominate, and you get dinner, and you also get a free ticket to the Harley Museum.
Oh, man.
For $200?
$200,
Man, you
man.
got some serious underwritings going on.
Yeah, that's okay. This is a good building. This is a good building block of it. Like I say, I'm going to be a part of this because this is nice. Everybody needs to know about this. Every African-American man in the city of Milwaukee and around, we can change that stigma of what men can do in Milwaukee by appearing to this men's conference. This is amazing.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Thank you so very much. And again, this was another dream, something that was in my heart. I wanted to find a way to minister to men, but not necessarily do it in a church setting, not necessarily do it religiously, but affect and talk about the things that need to be talked about. Your employment. How can you be a better employee? Or how can you start a business?
Yes.
How can you be an entrepreneur? How can you get your body in better shape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a better husband, a better
Be a
dad.
better husband,
Yep.
Better brother, better uncle.
all that. That's what this was all about.
Father. Yep.
You know, and so I had to figure out, and for me, I love sports, and I said, I want this to be around that. And it's a t-shirt culture, fellas. So you come in wearing a t-shirt and some jeans, because that's how we're going to get down.
Yeah, be comfortable.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
That's how we're going to get down. And it'd be good to have you there. If you can make it, have some of your buddies show up. You know, I think it would be absolutely amazing to just have, you know, pro athletes from all walks of life there in solidarity to say, I'm a man first.
Right.
You know, regardless to the athlete I am, I'm a man first. And yes, I need some help and I need some coaching. But also, if I can inspire another man to be better by just my presence. I don't necessarily have to have a mic. I don't necessarily have to have a platform, but just me being me will inspire men to come and to help them to get better. Hey, that's a feather in my cap.
Yeah.
That's
that's something, Leroy, people like yourself can do way after they stop playing.
Yeah.
You know, and they can have even more impact and influence after they stop playing by being able to be there and be a role model and be a leader and let people understand some of the things that you had to persevere through in order to be the success that you were athletically. Those are the type of things that a lot of African-American men, black boys don't get to hear from the horse's mouth, uncut, unfiltered. And these type of events allows that to happen, them to touch you, to hear you, and to either ask you some questions that they always wanted to ask someone in your position. So this is an amazing event and a great opportunity.
Oh, this
for
going
many
on my
people.
Facebook page, ASAP.
It'd be great, you know, if you had some books there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Had some books there, you know, you can sign some books.
Yes.
You get your book out there to some men who need it. Speaking of your book, kind of tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, it's called the Leroy Butler story, from wheelchair to the Lambeau Leap, my journey. And some of the stories we talked about
And I
today.
love that title.
And I just want kids to know if you're disabled, you're poor, any kind of obstacle, it's still not a reason to hurt somebody or to look for shortcuts, because I didn't.
Yes.
And I chose great leaders like you guys to be around, not so much trying to be with other famous people. I want to be with just people that have good faith and know how to act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I'm from the South, the people hard to understand my dialect, but that's the way we talk. That's what my book is everything about. Is there are no shortcuts in life, but if you see one, take it, as long as it benefits you and 10 to 15 other people around you. That's what my mom told me that.
Right.
And she was like, if you can't bring nobody with you, nobody will know. And I was like, Mom, you be preaching. And she was like, you be listening. Because that's how I learned to cook. And that's what my book is about, too. I was cooking for the family at 11 years old.
Wow.
I'm an executive chef.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's the difference between that and a regular chef. An executive chef means if I taste it, if it don't taste right, I throw it away and start over. You'll never know.
Yeah.
Wow.
A chef, you put it out there, you hope people like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to know you like it.
Yes.
Because I'm going to make sure it's right. And I don't use seasoning because you can always add, you can't take it out.
There you
Right.
go.
Because I try to make sure salt is out of my diet as well, especially for African-American men with high blood pressure, colon cancer, and stuff like that. You can still eat mac and cheese, but I don't put all the salt in it. You can add it if you want it,
Right.
but I just make sure that I give you everything. And that's what the whole book is about. And I think not only that, when you're reading this book, it's at a second grade level, you're going to nod your head and say, I went through the same thing.
Yes.
I went,
Yes.
I went through the same thing. And it just made me a better person knowing that you have something to stand back on. And I wanted to write that book my 7th year in the league, and it took me to finish it 2 years after I retired, because all these stories kept coming up, talking to my mom. And again, she was everything, and she passed away 3 years ago, and it seemed like I always wake up every morning praying that God take care of her, and she can do everything else for me better up there than here. Because she was just mine instead of my other family member. They thought it was funny, but I was the biggest mama boy in the world.
Well, look where it got you. Look where it got you. Listening.
Never
look
want
where
to
it got
disappoint
you.
her. Never want to disappoint her.
Yeah. I want you to say the title of that book one more time.
Yes, a Leroy Butler story, from wheelchair to the Lambeau Leap.
Yes. And my son and I, every summer we pick a book that we read together. I'm definitely going to put that on our list. I have a
Oh, it's
17-year-old
amazing.
son,
It's
and
amazing.
reading and literacy is very important.
Yes.
So
Right.
we pick a book that we read together. We're reading Everything You Should Know in American Culture right now,
Yes.
which has different chapters in it.
Yeah.
But we definitely going to add that book to our list because I think that's a good experience and a good memory for a father and a son
Absolutely.
to do together.
Yeah.
I think it's also just a great testimony of parents children obey your parents.
Yes.
You-
Yes.
You know, and that's a lesson lost with these kids.
Yes.
And I think it's a lesson lost with parents because too many of them are trying to be their friend versus being their parent.
Yes.
Oh, now you're really preaching.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yes.
the fact that you said you listened to your mom, you made it a point to get the wisdom that she had
And your grandmother.
Yeah.
and your grandmother,
Yes.
so that you could have something to pass on, a legacy of wisdom, of faith, of understanding that you learned how to, even though you might not have understood all of the lessons then, when it was time for them to come up, they came up. You know,
Yes.
and they helped you get through probably some hard times, through injury. You probably relied on them lessons you got from your mom. When we stunk as Packers, and you're like, I done came from Florida State to this.
Yes.
I'm in this cold, and we
Yeah.
losing.
Yeah.
You know, what can I do to be traded?
Yes.
Did you ever go through a mindset of thinking, I want to get out of here?
Well, no. The reason why I didn't, because I remember getting that phone call in the projects at my draft party. We had double eggs and water. Wait for this rotary phone to ring. And the rotary phone, for you millennials, y'all got to Google that one because Siri wasn't born
It's
yet.
green.
Yeah, you just dial this number and it takes forever.
It's
You got this
green.
long cord from here to the south side, this long cord. You talk
Right.
on it. When the Green Bay Packers called me, I was committed. And I took 3 pay cuts to stay a Green Bay Packer because my mom taught me loyalty. I remember my mom telling me a story because as African American, you always want your dad, but my dad and my mom got a divorce when I was 4. And I'm thinking, Mom, who's going to teach me about girls?
Yeah.
Right.
And she said, come here for a minute. Who can teach you more about a girl than a girl?
Yeah.
I said, that's 100.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, yes. So she taught me everything because I really thought that by not having a dad, I was going to be left behind. But my mom was mom and dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to wait to learn things. She told me everything, everything, how to be a man, how to treat a woman,
Yes.
and how to just have a sensitive side to them and just treat them right. You'll be just fine. That's when she said, I'm going to teach you how to cook so you don't have to rely on anybody to survive.
Right.
And she was just amazing. And matter of fact, I'm working on another book now about my new wife and about the relationship with her, meeting her, and all these other stories about my mom that I shared today. Some of these stories I've never shared ever.
Wow.
The one I told you about my mom telling me about grown man stuff,
Yeah.
I've never shared that before.
Wow.
So they're hearing that here for the first time, but I'm going to
That's an exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is. Because I think I wasn't going to ever tell that story because I wanted to write it. But I think this is the platform to say it because I want people to understand that this is not only going to be one of the best shows for faith in sports, but you get a chance to, as an interviewer, you can open up and not hide anything,
Yes.
and
Yes.
people okay
Yes.
and won't judge you for
and
it.
that's why we did this.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
man, thank you so much for hanging
Oh,
with us
man.
again, man.
Yeah.
We got to get you back.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you October 11th and 12th. Yeah, I'm going to make sure every African American, every man, anybody, you need to be there. Just if you're a man and want to become a better man, you got to be there October 11th and 12th. Keeping it 100. Now, that's a barbershop slogan.
Right. That's
You
it.
don't keep it 100, don't come in here.
Don't come in saying nothing,
Just
bro.
for this day,
Right.
you got to keep it 100.
Yeah.
So when you leave on the 12th, 13th, moving on,
Right.
everything in my life is keeping it 100, and I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
So
Well, thank you again for tuning in with us. We'll see you next week from 7 to 7:30, same bat time, same bat channel right here. Joy 1340 AM 98.7 FM. Until next week, we'll see you. Peace.